Bum, bum, ba-da, bum, ba-da, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum. What in the world is that from? Here, we're going to get things started.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right, here we go. The T-bone.
And ChickBrew.
Let's God bless. All these years, just get it right one time.
What do you want from me?
40 years they've been trying. You couldn't fire somebody if they were horrible, doing a terrible job for the veterans. And now you can say, you're fired.
Okay. No one listens to radio.
And now for a quick disclaimer. The T-Bone
And ChickBrew.
show is brought to you by nobody. We have no sponsors.
The show is still rated G.
For glorious. Well, hello, beautiful. Hi, how are you? I've missed you so much.
Really?
Yeah, because it's been an extra week in between us, and I'm trying to kick out an episode every week, and that requires your participation, and you were for not. Yeah, hey, what's on your schedule? Oh, I'm busy. Okay, so later? Silence on the line.
You know what? Sometimes I think it was a very busy week.
I don't think you can do a 6 in the morning show. For those who don't know, ChickBrew is 6 hours in the future. She lives in the future. I live in the past. So coordinating is sometimes an issue. But on the bright side, I did get 2 episodes in while you were away this week.
Since you've been gone, I've been doing just fine.
No, I did an interview with Will C, and I did an interview with Taifu Panda. They were both here this week at the Comedy Zone in Harrisburg, which I went out to last night, and decided to get my racist on and do a Heil Hitler, which was fun. Well, it was a Black Panther pose. We were all going to go, Black Panther, and I just left my fingers extended because that was funny. And everybody laughed. And then I got on board with the
And
Black.
then they keyed my card. With a chainsaw. Then they keyed my card
So
with a chainsaw.
it has been 2 weeks since we last spoke, and I don't like going a week without speaking to you because you are my bestest of besties when I speak to you. And when I only speak to you, it is on this show. So what you been doing? How come we weren't able to talk? What's going on in your world?
So, oh my gosh. So last week was PRT week for me, which isn't always a struggle.
PRT?
Not the actual,
PRT is
not the actual PRT. The
physical
PRT
readiness testing?
Is fine. That's fine. It's the weighing and taping and measuring and no
a
fooding
struggle I dealt with for years and years and years.
leading into the PRT that is the worst, where you just spend an entire 2 to 3 weeks cranky, malnourished, and then you have like 2 days to make
You talked last time, you said, well, I'm not drinking right now. And I didn't even get into the why, but I also kind of figured it was cyclic because when you're trying to cut weight, one of the things you got to do is the empty calories.
That also doesn't actually help. I've quit drinking before and lost had it not be related to the PRT and lost no weight. So I don't know.
So how much did you need to lose?
Abundance of water. I don't actually need to lose weight ever. I just will get taped. I dropped 10 pounds. Just so that my calorie burn wouldn't have to be like 1 million calories on the bike. But it is what it is. It's so stupid. It's literally the dumbest
thing. For those
ever.
who've never served in the military, it is one of the, military, the military and supermodels is what it comes down to. If you're in the military or you're a supermodel, or if you work at Hooters, I guess, you can't be fat. They don't let you be fat. But the rules have changed a little bit. You're allowed to be a little fat ever since COVID, because there's a lot of uniforms being stretched these days. More uniforms are being stretched now than when I was in. And I stretched my share of uniforms. But, they can fire you for being fat. Hooters, strippers, the military, and supermodels.
That's it. It's a short list. Actually, I think Abercrombie or Hollister, one of them, they hire their employees as models, as brand ambassadors. Which
I don't really know anything about Abercrombie other than it's just like gay.
It smells. It's really
just
bad.
It's like they're all gay models. They have to be all gay models because normal straight men look more like me than any Abercrombie model.
I mean, I had friends that worked at Abercrombie and they were not gay. But it is unfair to the rest of the straight men. We'll say it does. They do put you at a disadvantage if you're into that. Some people aren't into that.
Some people are not. So you're prepping for the PRT. You're dropping 10 pounds so you don't have to bike an ungodly amount because the calorie burns are directly equated to the weight that you are at the time of weigh-in.
Right. And it was so hot in the cycling room. Like I walked in there and I was like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Like the 2-minute plank, that was not uncomfortable. Push-ups, not uncomfortable. Walked into the cycling room and I was just like, this may kill me. It was
so the plank. The plank is a new thing. The plank didn't exist when I was in. The plank is a substitute for sit-ups, correct?
Correct.
And you got to get in the position and you got to hold it for how long to pass?
For me to pass, I had to hold it 1:35. I did almost 2 minutes. I think I was like
1:35 just to pass.
Just to pass.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think I could do a plank for 1:35.
I just put my headphones on really loud. And I know that when I get to a certain part in the song, I'm close to 2 minutes, and then I just stop. That's it. Like,
what was the song that inspired you through the pain?
Silver Lining from Panic at the Disco.
Okay.
That was my...
How does that go? I don't know that.
No, because it's got some bad words, and I'm still looking for my bidet sponsorship. I just want my bidet.
So I've got my friends in town this weekend. I've got Will C, I've got Taifu Panda, and I've got Covell Hudson. They're all in town. And Covell gets on stage last night, and he's talking about bidets. And he's like, how many people out there got bidets? And this is central Pennsylvania. Nobody's got bidets, but I'm in the back of the room. I got a bidet. I'm working on a bidet sponsorship, you know. I got multiple bidets. So he does a fun routine on bidets, but he doesn't understand our connection with the bidet industry. I'm actually looking at upgrading. So I've got the 50. Actually, I've gone one step further. I've talked to people in the production industry. So here's the thing about bidets. If you want the coolest of the cool, they've got to be hardwired. They have to have electricity going to the toilet, and most people don't have an outlet near their toilet because that's not a place you put an outlet. So what I recommended to somebody who has the capacity to create something that I thought of, and I gave this to them free. You make all the billions of dollars you want on this. I just want the product. And the product is a battery-powered bidet.
And a sponsorship. Oh my God, what are you talking about? I want it to be T-Bone and ChickBrew, brought to you by Clean Butts. Like there's a vision out there.
We'll get our faces on the sides of the bidet.
Like, do you see this bidet? This is the T-Bone and ChickBrew model. It's battery powered.
ChickBrew endorsed bidets. It's got your face on one side, my face on the other.
With fresh water.
I enjoy my upstairs. This is so silly to say. So in Europe, you don't have this problem. In Europe, you sit on the bidet, which is its own appliance. You sit in the forward-facing position, and that's how you clean everything up. But the American version, which is kind of a knockoff of the Japanese version, which I enjoy, is just... You sit like you normally sit on the one appliance that you own, no extra appliance needed, and you turn the dial. And you turn the dial to the right, and you get this awesome stream that does everything it needs to do. And then if you turn the dial to the left, it also gives you a stream, but not as forceful and in a different direction. I think one is for front washes, one is for back washes, but I use them both because I have them available. But in the upstairs bathroom, the target acquisition is on point. Like when I check to make it, when I dry myself, because I just dry myself. When I dry myself, I'm clean, I'm golden, I'm good to go. But in the downstairs bidet, everything's not quite on point. I feel like there's something obstructing the nozzle. I'm not getting the full bidet bedazzlement. I'm not getting bedazzled down there. And then I go to dry myself, and I end up wiping myself. But I'm going to tell you, we installed those bidets, specifically the upstairs bidet, in what I consider my bathroom, because it's mine and it's my stuff, and she's not allowed to use it or go in there. In my bathroom, I am still on the same roll of toilet paper that I've been on for a year, or over a year. Single roll, because I use the dried up wet wipes. So we got the wet wipes because I like to have a clean booty hole. That's just me.
Nothing wrong with being clean. Nothing wrong. I respect it. I think it's important.
So I have the wet wipes, but I didn't have the container for the wet wipes, and it left open. So they're all dried out, but they make great towel and booty checkers. So they're very absorbent, so I go in there to dry up, and it sucks up all the water, and they're white. So if there's anything that's not clean, it's going to let me know. So, a whole year, and I haven't gone through not even half of a roll of toilet paper in my bathroom.
How many times a week do you poop?
I poop every day. Every day.
Wow.
I am. Are you one of those people who don't poop every day?
Oh, yeah, no. I am a terrible pooper.
The producer poops like once a month.
Yeah.
God forbid you go near it when, but I don't know how. I don't think I poop multiple times a day some days. For the most part.
Things are terribly wrong.
For the most part, once a day, occasionally more than once a day. More frequent than not, more than once a day.
Fascinating. Congratulations.
You can't hear it and you can't see it, but I am surrounded by ridgebacks.
How many are there now?
I have 2 on either side of me. They're both watching me intently. Neither one of them knows what's going on because they can't see you and they can't hear you. And it's just Poppy being crazy with the lights on. They don't know. But I got Rosa and I got Zeus, and they are enthralled with what I am doing right now. So
I have a Rupert. He's asleep.
That's good. I don't want to wake
Rupert. We took him
Rupert
for a walk. He actually had a not so great poop on our walk. Since we're talking about poop, I think he has a little tummy. Now he's sleeping.
Oh no!
I know. What did you eat? No telling. Okay, just keep an eye on that.
Does Rupert or other dog that doesn't get as much attention as Rupert? Do they? What is his name?
Granger. He is.
Do they eat grass?
They do.
Do you yell at them when they eat grass?
No.
The producer consistently yells at both puppies anytime they eat grass. And I don't know.
They gotta eat the grass.
It's good fiber. It's delicious. As a child, I ate grass.
And look how you turned out. Oh, stop eating the grass. Stop eating the grass. Yeah, no. Dogs have to eat. That's their veg. Our dogs eat spoiled boys that they are on a raw food diet. So for them, it's their salad to go with their steak.
They're on a raw food diet?
Yep.
Tell me more.
So we get food delivered, and it's meat, whether it's chicken, horse, cow, rabbit, whatever, sardines, eyeballs, livers, hearts. It's all ground up in a tube, and we feed them based on their weight, and that's what they eat for breakfast.
Is that the manager laughing maniacally in the background?
You could hear her laughing. Yes, that's her.
I love her laugh. It's so genuine.
I know. It's such a good laugh. It's like, you just know that she means it.
Do you know, this week, I had 5 people in my house, all of them from Kansas City, Missouri. Now, our super fan Teagan is from Kansas City, Kansas. And all of her friends that listen to us from Kansas are from Kansas City, Kansas, which the people from KC Mo look down on because KCK ain't nearly as cool as KC Mo. True story.
I mean, I've been to both.
It's easy to get lost because if you you cross the bridge, you're in Kansas. You cross the bridge, you're back in Missouri. It all looks the same. They all talk the same. There's no accent in the Midwest. These are normal people. But I had Will C, Taifu Panda, and Covell Hudson. I had Amanda and Alex, and I didn't know until they dropped off Rosa that they are both from Kansas also. My friend Nick Costanza is a comedian down in Jacksonville who moved to Kansas City because he's got roots there, and apparently now he's moved back. If I got Nick in here, that would have been 6. I should do specialty city weekends. If you want to come visit me and be in the studio, you're going to have to... Oh, think about this, man. We have had...
start working on those edibles or something? Have you dipped in? Oh, think about this, man. What in the That 70s Show just happened?
We we get stuff sent to us. I get stuff sent to me. And I'm appreciative. But as our audience grows, I'm starting to like, maybe we should invest in a P.O. box. You know, I got people coming, no kidding, people coming into my house to do the podcast. And I'm like, maybe I need a separate facility for the, not that I mean, I know these guys, I have no fear of these guys, but if I were to do other people, I'm literally bringing them into my house, which, I mean, it's pretty impressive. It is.
I mean, to be honest, if I didn't know you and I just met you and you're like, come to my basement and do a podcast with me, I would be like, stranger danger. Like, I would mace you.
Because of the way I look?
I don't know you.
Well, I wouldn't.
Don't touch
I would
me.
never.
I don't know you. That's my purse.
Stop. Don't touch me there. That's my no-no square. I would never invite someone into my house that I didn't know. So I just found out last night that another comedy friend of mine that I've known for 20 plus years, Roy Harbor, he's going to be here in Mechanicsburg at the end of the month. So I'm thinking, reaching out to Roy and like, hey man, I know we haven't talked in 20 years. But what do you think about coming into my house? And he used to be the 4-foot pimp. Let me tell you this. The last time me and Roy were together, I think it was Daytona, his hair was almost as long as he was. I mean, he's not a very tall guy, and he had really long hair. But somewhere along the way, he went bald. I know it was after. So I auditioned for Last Comic Standing 1. And Last Comic Standing 2. One was in Atlanta. There was 113 comedians, and they were all people we knew, and it was an absolute blast. I started panhandling the panhandlers, and I was having more fun outside in line waiting to go in. So
that's how it is.
When we went to Tampa, I actually hired a drunk guy, a homeless person. I hired a homeless person to mock the production assistants, because the production assistants would come outside and say, "Be quiet, stay against the wall." They would just come out randomly and say, "Be quiet, stand against the wall." So I hired this homeless dude. I was like, "Look, man, every time that cat comes out here and screams, 'Be quiet, stand against the wall,' I want you to scream, 'Be quiet, get against the wall,' even louder. And every time it happens, I'll give you $5. So, so $40 or $50 into this experiment, he then disappears. And I'm like, what the heck, man? I hired this guy for a job. I don't know what happened. Well, apparently, I found out when the police came by. Apparently, he was homeless for a reason. He had some addiction issues. As soon as he had enough money, he went and got extremely liquored up, and he got picked up by the popo. And the popo and me and Big Baby are there together when this happens. We're sitting at a table. We've got our place in line. We're just waiting, and the popo come up and go, "Okay, which one of you guys is paying this guy?" I'm sorry. What do you mean, officer? What do you mean paying the homeless person? No, he said one of you guys was paying him money. I don't know what you're talking about. This is NBC Studios. Why? Were they going to arrest me for giving money to a homeless person for doing minor tasks? Was the IRS involved? Was there a W-2 I needed to fill out? What was going on here?
Probably. They wanted their share. I mean, that's how the police get funded. Got to get that share.
Way before we even get to birthdays, I want to rescind an honorable mention. I want to take it back. And here's why I take it back. Because Cary Kellogg has been a friend of mine for a very long time. And however that week fell out, he was just an honorable mention because there were other people in front of him. Maybe they were prettier, or maybe they were closer to me, or maybe they participated more in the show. I don't know why, but Cary was an honorable mention versus a birthday boost. Uh-huh. And all it was is like, "And Cary, happy birthday to Cary," and blah, blah, blah. And then he messaged on the fan page. He was like, "Hey, thanks for the shout out." And I felt so tiny and so small because this is a friend of mine. I love this guy. He's very, he's joined us on the quarantine conversations too. And to not and to not give him a birthday boost, I felt really bad about that. So I'm rescinding the honorable mention that we gave and pushing out a happy, happy, happy birthday to one of the best crazy eights I've ever known in my career and who continues to be a mentor, a friend, and a brother, Cary Kellogg. Happy belated birthday boost. I had to get that in. I have honestly...
I thought you were rescinding because you had made someone else mad and they weren't talking to you and being petty. But no, that's a valid reason to rescind the birthday boost.
I think that's a great reason to take away somebody's birthday boost. Like, I mentioned there in an honorable mention and they didn't say anything, so I'm taking it big.
This is my wish, and I'm taking it back.
Time for a commercial.
Get your laugh on and save a life. The Harrisburg Comedy Zone, in partnership with the Central Pennsylvania Blood Bank, offer 2 free passes for every single pint of blood donated. Quick clarification, it must be your blood. 1 pint, 2 free passes. That's almost the junkie rate for a plasma donation. Did you know a single pint of blood can save as many as 3 lives? Did you know the Harrisburg Comedy Zone features amazing talent from all over the country every single weekend? Did you also know that blood expires and the Central Pennsylvania Blood Bank is in regular need of donations? For more information on how you could save a life and have a laugh, visit cpbb.org and harrisburgcomedyzone.com. That's one word, harrisburgcomedyzone.com.
I don't think they meant to make the Central Pennsylvania Blood Bank a tongue twister, but give it a shot. Go ahead and try saying Central Pennsylvania Blood Bank 3 times.
I see a dog.
Where? Oh, hey, sweetie. Hi, how are you? You saw Rosa, and now Zeus is jealous, so here he comes.
The flat line in the commercial, I have in headphones, but Rupert heard it, and he, like, sat up and was like, what is that? Oh, my diddle.
That's good to know that if you ever flatline, at least he'll be aware that something is amiss.
Know that something has gone awry.
So since August the 1st, I have had an issue in my back, and it is yet to be properly diagnosed. But what I find myself doing for the last month is I am spending a lot of time on the floor. Well, the only way I've been able to really find relief is to get as flat as possible, as quickly as possible, and then do a bunch of, stretches and stuff like that to make the pain go away. So I'm looking at a lot of ceiling tiles. I've seen ceiling tiles in my work, and the PT places, and the doctor places, and every floor of this house. But one of the things that gets interrupted, it started with Zeus. So Zeus, he's very protective. He cares about me. And if I'm lying on the floor, number one, that's different. So he's trying to figure out what's going on. And the more I lie on the floor, the more protective he becomes over me. He puts his body on top of me. As I say that, I'm going to admit what he does. He does not try to have oral sex with me. But it is close. It is when he is. Listen to that.
Dad, don't embarrass me.
When he is standing over me, his junk is usually in my face, and
protective.
And I'm trying to okay, I appreciate the thought, but if you could have done this in the different direction. So now now I've got both of them in the house, and I'm getting flat on the floor to relieve the pain, and I have both of them standing over me, but still only one of them is presenting their junk to me.
Good buddy.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Rosa was to put her JJ over my face, if I would feel any different.
I feel like it's no matter what.
Oh, that's a dog vagina. I'm okay with a dog vagina.
In that case, then we would need to really talk about your dirty issues that you seem to have.
Oh, God. I crack myself up sometimes. You know what? Because I can. I am so disappointed in my friend Taifu Panda. We went to lunch at Sushi Heaven. It was great. It's all-you-can-eat sushi, which you usually don't get unless you go to a Chinese place. And let's be honest, the Chinese aren't great at sushi. Ladies and gentlemen, you're just going to have to ignore the noises. Ridgebacks play rough, and they're just playing and they're having a good time, and it sounds like murder is occurring, but I apologize for the extra noises. What was I saying? Thai food panda. So we go to lunch at Sushi Heaven, and we're having greay conversation. It's just 4 comics sitting at a table eating sushi and laughing, and he starts to tell me this premise of his. It's about his dog, and there were some points on here. I was like, dude, this is so much fun. There are some ways that this could go. It would be so much funnier. And then we're sitting down, we're doing the interview with Will. We did talk about cooking. With Thai Food Panda, we did the Book of Everything. So we incorporated a little bit of the show into the interviews. And one of the things that came out of the Book of Everything was, of course, talking about dogs. And he's like, "Man, that's a sign. That's a sign. We're gonna have to." That's a horrible impression, but I'm good at horrible impressions, so just deal with it. That's a sign. I'm gonna have to do that joke tonight. I'm gonna do that joke tonight. If you're doing that joke tonight, I'm gonna be there. So of course I was there, and of course he didn't do the joke. I paused to allow that roar to go through.
It really just sounds like they're talking to each other.
Oh, but not on this end. On this end, I could see them fighting, and it's very animated. It's awesome. I love it. I love these two. Zeus was probably a year old before he met Rosa, who was like 2 months old, and they've been friends ever since. That they were friends in Spain, and that when his family came back to the States, they're only a couple hours away from us. So when we go on vacation, they get to watch Zeus, and when they go on a vacation, we get to watch Rosa, and it's a great. For me, here's the deal.
Your best friend sleepover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. But it's also good for me. I've been in a lot of pain lately. And Jules, the producer, she sends me a message like, "Hey, they want to know if we can watch Rosa Labor Day weekend." I'm like, yes. I don't know how many times I could say yes, and instantly started feeling better, even though I was in the middle of an attack at the time.
Yeah,
so,
emotional support animals they're real.
Have you seen what's the craziest emotional support animal you've seen?
Squirrel.
I saw alligator.
Well, I'm here for that.
Yeah, an emotional. First of all, I'm not a big fan of ESAs. I'm not a big fan because every pet is an emotional support animal.
Yes.
If they don't have to be certified, they don't have to go through anything. If you got a dog, if you got a cat, if you got a parakeet, and they keep you company, and they especially dogs.
As soon as I can do my heart rate on my watch in the car when I pull in the house, I could come and immediately just sit on the couch between both of my dogs.
Boom, 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 boom.
I could go from sitting to sitting, and the difference is dogs. And there's a huge difference.
Because a dog always makes you feel loved.
Yes.
It's not that they don't know time. Dogs know time. Dogs know time. They know exactly what time they're supposed to be fed in the morning and in the night. They know exactly what time they expect you to take them out. They know. So, people have always said dogs don't understand time. But when you're coming home and you're supposed to be home at 5 o'clock and that dog is waiting at the door at you at 5 o'clock, it's because the dog knows time. And the dog wants to see you. So when I open that door and he's there.
When I am home and if the manager is supposed to be home from work, if it's a certain time, if it goes a little late, like there's an after work meeting or whatever, they're like ready. They are at the window. They're like, "I don't understand. I don't see the car. What is going on?
Yeah.
It should be here by now." Like,
where's my human?
And I'm here. I mean, I'm the second favorite human. I'm the auxiliary human. But still, like, they're like, where?
As a child of the 70s, I was kind of the same way because both of my parents worked. I babysat myself, and I had kind of learned when they were supposed to be home. So when they didn't come home, I would be in the window like, "Where's my mommy and daddy?" Different times. Are you ready to spin the wheel? It's time to talk about cooking.
And tonight, prove one thing. All.
We're going to be talking about cooking, and I'm going to be turning that back up because I turned it down because that comes in hot for me. For those of you who don't know, and if you're a regular listener, of course you know all the things I'm getting ready to say, but my friend ChickBrew is a board-certified, state-sanctioned, internationally renowned chef. She is schooled in the culinary skills. She has a particular set of skills in the culinary fields, and every week we talk about cooking. She's also a caterer who does catering events, usually of the vegan variety for the strangest reasons. So we like to talk about cooking, what she's cooking. I am an experimenter. I am a certified salad chef, but everything I do outside of salads is actually testing the boundaries of my certification. So, what have you been cooking lately?
This week, I am going to be trying my hand at some Danish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Going the savory route. That's a new thing for you. Is this for a particular event, or is this for the household, or is this for further continuing education credits?
I'm going to do some traditional with the cream cheese filling, and then I'm going to try to do some cream cheese, but like bacon and chives cream cheese Danish.
What is the difference between a Danish and a strudel? Is a strudel just a bunch of danishes put together?
I have no idea. Strudel, isn't that the crumbly stuff?
No, it's very danishy, but it's long and it's like a bunch of eights put together.
Oh yeah, I'm not making that.
I would love to see a strudel with different flavors in between each of the 8 circles. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Time. I'm just going to do a traditional Danish. Because you know what? I love cream cheese Danish. I love them.
I am a big fan.
So good. And they just can't get a good one here. The ones they used to sell at the coffee shop, they were okay, but they were cold. They were always cold and kind of gummy.
You want to hear an interesting fact I learned this week? Philadelphia cream cheese? Not made in Philadelphia. Was never made in Philadelphia. Some New Yorkers thought Philadelphia was a great name for their cream cheese and just put it on the label. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. Upstate New York, as far away from Philadelphia as you could get. I mean, if they just went straight down the line, it would be like Pittsburgh. And now Pittsburgh cream cheese just does sound disgusting. Why would they do that? Why would you name something Philadelphia cream cheese for no reason?
It's like the guy who named Lululemon, Japanese fellow, wanted to market towards Americans, knows that Americans tend to be a little bit selective in their purchases and where they're from, and didn't think that anyone would guess that Lulu would come from a country that doesn't use that word, doesn't use that letter.
What is Lululemon for those of us who don't know?
Leggings. They're the leggings.
Leggings.
And because he's like in our language, L's come out like R's, and so
Riri.
Yep. It's like Aldi and Trader Joe's. Americans did not respond well to Aldi as a name.
I had never seen Aldi until it came to Rhoda. And the beauty of a German supermarket coming to southern Spain was more than one person could go down the aisle. That the aisles made sense. That it was it was...
You almost killed me.
Because you were drinking when I said that.
And it has lime juice in it, so it was very sour and pickly.
No, it was, Spanish supermarkets they've got everything, but the aisles are really tight and it's not like cart friendly. You're supposed to just like walk around and pick up a couple of items. Who is looking? Zeus is looking at himself in the mirror because he's bored now. And Aldi came in and was like, here's an alcohol section, here's a beer section, and two people can be on the aisls at the same time.
They also have bread and cheese and meat there.
They do.
You just go on the beer and alcohol aisles.
No. They have a cool thing in the bread section, so they'll make a fresh loaf of bread, and you can take that fresh loaf of bread that you're going to purchase and put it in the slicer, and it'll slice it for you.
As thick as you want or as thin as you want.
That is as Gucci as it gets, man. So in my conversation about cooking, I have all the ingredients to make gimbap. The last time I made gimbap, I almost killed myself.
Let's not do that again.
Yeah, I don't want to do that again, and that is the trepidation in having another round. So I've got the eggs. Eggs didn't try to kill me. I've got the fake crab meat. That didn't try to kill me. I've got the seaweed. I've got the rice. I've got the sesame. And I've got the carrots.
The carrots.
Now, when the technique I learned for sweating carrots, you, my chef friend, say is a no-no, that I should do it differently. The technique I learned was you julienne the carrots, you put them in a thing, you sprinkle salt on them, and the salt just pulls all the water out of them. But I put too much salt in last time, like a toxic amount of salt in last time, and you recommended something different. How do you recommend I sweat the carrots?
No, that's the right way, but wash them afterwards.
I'm pretty sure I did, because I knew I had used an ample amount of salt.
Oh, don't use that much salt again.
Okay.
Do not. What kind of salt are you using? Just regular?
Iodized little lady with an umbrella salt? I mean, we've got the Gucci salts, but I think those are supposed to be used on special things, right? Like ancient Himalayan deep sea dust salt rock.
Sea dust.
I don't. Here's the thing about salt. I don't understand it. Okay.
You could, because you're trying to get them tender, right?
Yes.
Pull out some of them and get them tender. Why don't you just blanch them?
I think that's what you told me to do, was to blanch them. And
that might be better.
I think that would be safer. So because I'm not a culinary expert, blanching is you get the water really hot, you throw the things in there, you bring it to a boil, and somehow that does it.
Yeah, you don't even...
I think the only thing I've ever blanched before is like spinach.
Same thing. Same thing. You can leave it in a little bit longer because they're a little bit more dense.
Put it in hot water until it becomes limp.
Or as
Story of my life.
supple as you'd like.
I think I'm going to go that route. I do not want to risk almost killing myself again for a delicious Korean delight gimbap, which as always, thanks to my friend Melanie.
Or you could pickle them.
Talk to me about pickling. So this is what I did. I boiled some eggs and I put them in the residual pickle stuff. So these people in central Pennsylvania are big fans of bologna. They are big fans of bologna. So you got your regular bologna that we all know and love, and then they've got this thing called ring bologna, and then they've got all these like pickled bolognas, and they've got bologna sticks. They got bologna blowing out the wazoo here.
No.
So I bought the pickled bologna because I was curious, and it was tasty, and it took about 6 months to get through the bottle, but then at the end of the 6 months I had this vinegar residual thing left over.
The brine.
Yeah, so I boiled some eggs and I threw it in there. And they've been sitting in there about a year, and I'm afraid to try them.
Can't imagine why.
But they're pickled. They should be fine, right? They should be pickled in the flavor of some hot bologna juice. God, that sounds disgusting when I say that.
Yeah. Also, don't eat those. Don't eat those.
Okay, tell me how to pickle. How do you pickle? I think
because pickling is it's a way to preserve food, right?
Right.
But depending on what you're pickling, it's about having the right salt to vinegar ratio. And again, sliced pickles and stuff like that, you can keep those in your refrigerator for what feels like an eternity. And they never go bad, which is just weird.
Why wouldn't a pickled egg not go bad?
Again, I don't know what the salt to vinegar ratio is. It's the brine that keeps them safe.
Right,
it's the brine that keeps bacteria from growing.
I used the brine that was used for the bologna. That seems like good brine.
Oh, that just sounds so gross. Eat it. Yeah, no, I take it back. I take it back.
Or it's the most amazing thing ever.
So bad. And I'm sure the idea of the double dragon from the floor, you should absolutely eat those.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. It's ChickBrew telling me to eat these eggs I'm afraid of eating. Eggs are a weird creature. You've got the 1,000-year-old eggs. You've got balut. You've got a lot of different types of... I looked to my left and all I saw was teeth. Just...
I love when dogs, like, their mouths are, like, right next to each other, and all you see is, ah! And I'm like, you guys, that's not how that's not how the bite
That's exactly what I just saw. Just 4 rows of teeth aimed at me while making noise. Yes, I am looking forward to making gimbap. I am also looking forward to not dying from poisoning myself. So I'm going to blanch my carrots, and in next week's episode, I'll be happy to tell everybody how that came out. What?
What about the eggs?
I'm going to try the eggs. I'm going to take an egg. I'm going to take an egg out of the bologna brine.
Is the producer home?
No, I don't think I could get away with doing that in front of her.
No, but like in town?
Yeah, she's in town.
Like, would be available to call an ambulance for you.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Because I told you in advance I was afraid to eat these eggs. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bite into the egg. I'm going to taste the egg. And then most likely spit it out without consuming it. I'm going to taste it without consuming.
Smell check first, right? Smell check first.
Well, I mean, if you smell anything that's been stuck in a brine for a year, what are you expecting to smell other than the brine?
It's a good first taste test.
Okay, I'll sniff it first, and then I will taste it, and I am thinking I will probably spit it out. But I don't know. What if it tastes like an amazing meat pickled egg? Maybe I only eat half and see if that's safe.
I'm sweating. My hands are sweating. Look at my cheeks.
Well, I'll give you time to recover while we play one of our we introduce people to the hotline.
It's the Cabron and ChickBrew hotline.
You used to call me on my
904-385-3977.
You used to.
It's the Cabron and ChickBrew hotline.
I feel it's so silly. I feel bad that I didn't use the Teagan version. So I've got 3 different versions of that. One sponsoring the kids in one way, one doing the kids in the other way, and then of course Teagan's version. And Teagan is a super fan, and we love Teagan. But Anne, who also happens to be from Kansas City, I think I've mentioned. But you know, if we don't specifically call her out, she gets a little angry. So we talked about cooking. We've had our usual get together chat. You know what I think it's time for? The Book of Everything. Every week we go into the Book of Everything and we try to learn something. We try to get a little educated, try to be a little smarter. And we share this with the audience because in the Book of Everything, there are over 1,200 facts of stuff you never knew before. Oh, I can't wait to do the news. I can't wait to do the news because it's been so long since we did the news. Mainly because you've been gone, but also because the last 2 people I had in the studio, they didn't really know the format. So they didn't come in. They didn't come in with any news. Here we go. Our first fact from the Book of Everything deals specifically with Austrians. 99% of Austrians are German, though most Austrians insist they are not German.
Are German, but they're not German?
99% of Austrians are German. So they're all German, but all of them deny the fact that their ancestry is from Germany. And I can kind of understand why. Germany's kind of a bad rap, if you will.
I love Germany.
Well, they've done some bad things, and you may want to, yes, it sounds the same, but we are not them. We are different. We are Austrians. We are not Germans.
I'm going to Austria in February.
Are you?
Maybe a mistake because it's going to be cold.
It is going to be cold. Where are you going in Austria?
Vienna.
Hi, sweetie. Oh, yes, Vienna. All right. And since we're on the Austrian thing, and since you're going to Austria, our second fact from the Book of Everything, I think you'll appreciate this. Austrians like to claim that Hitler was really a German, whereas Mozart was an Austrian. Whereas the reverse is true, and Mozart was a German, and Hitler was Austrian. They got issues there, man. They got issues. Those.
Can't wait to go.
I have
The only thing I'm bummed
always.
about is that we're gonna miss the Ice Giant's cave because it's closed.
Oh no!
I know.
Oh no! So sad.
But I also can't imagine climbing up a mountain ice cave in February because it's already going to be cold enough.
I think I've always known that Hitler wasn't Austrian, and I think some part of me thinks that there was some Jew in him. I'll tell you that in a second. And Mozart, I always thought was Austrian because the Austrians' propaganda machine had me thinking he was Austrian, when in fact he's actually German. Those are the facts that we learned today from the Book of Everything. The reason I laughed a little bit extra there at the word Jew. My father, that was his nom de plume, right? That was his other name. He was Don the Jew. I don't know why. He had a belt. It had Jew written on it. He wasn't Jewish. He wasn't. When he would beat me with the belt, he wasn't stingy with the beatings. But that was his nickname. He was Don the Jew. That's who my dad was, right? And I told that story to Taifu Panda this week, and he's laughing a little bit. And then all last night he's calling me the Jew Junior.
When I did my ancestry thing, guess whose Easter do appear Jewish? It's me.
Are you a Jew?
It turns out, didn't know.
Why would you do the 23andMe?
My parents were mine.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you're going to help somebody solve a serial killing. I will never do 23andMe.
Perfect. You just don't want to know if you owe anyone back child support. No,
That is, no, I don't really have that issue. I am unfortunate looking enough where that's really never been a problem for me. Hey, do you have any headlines for me?
Of course I have headlines.
Oh, I can't wait.
Literally the one thing that you asked me to do, and so I do.
You are so special. Here we go.
Firefighters rescue cow with head stuck in.
This only takes place in Middle America. There's two places where this could take place. This takes place either in Middle America or in Australia, because Australia is the Middle America of the rest of the world. And so I'm thinking Middle America, Middle America that's got trees. I'm guessing Kansas, maybe Missouri. They've got call up the fire department. And again, these people are middle America. They don't really have an accent. So if any accent I imply here is purely for entertainment purposes. Hey, yo, fire department. We got a cow up in the tree. And ladies and gentlemen, not a problem. Not a problem. We respond to cats in the tree all the time. No. It's not a cat. It's a cow. What? It's a cow. Okay. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we respond. I don't know why the fire department would be referring to ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We respond to cats in the tree all the time. We'll be there in 10 seconds. Just give us a moment. We'll put our lives, we'll put everybody else's life at risk so that we can respond here and get your cat out of a tree. It's not a cat. It's a cow. All right. So they show up.
What does that look like to you?
I am looking at a picture of a cow with its head stuck in a tree. That is hilarious. I mean, there are people who have cows as pets, and bless them. And cows are creatures. And as a meat eater, I don't befriend cows because I eat them. A lot of them. And that looked like a helpless animal stuck with its head in a tree in the picture that you just showed me. But I'm looking at the tenderloin. I'm looking at the ribs. I'm like, this is an easy kill. We can make this simple. Oh, geez. I don't know where I could go with that would make that more entertaining other than making fun of the people who called the phone call in.
I thought it was funny. It's not a cat, it's a cow.
And then you've always got the people, you got kids all the time getting their heads stuck in railings and stuff. And then they got to cut the railing and do damage to the house instead of... All it really needs, the cow, the kid, whoever is stuck in anything, if you can get your head in, you can get your head out. And what it requires is... really strong... No, it doesn't require butter. Butter's nice. Vaseline's even better. But if somebody has to pull you even when you go no, or in the cow's case, moo. You got to yank, because if you can get your head in, you can get your head out. It's the same space. I've seen that with people who go like spelunking or whatever, spelunking and other cave things where they do things fat people never do, where tiny little skinny people put themselves in tiny little positions that they shouldn't be in, and then they can't back out, and then they die.
That's how you know they've never been fat, because as fat people, there are so many things I'm like, that's terrible idea.
Yeah,
you're gonna get stuck. And I'm
not doing that. Oh, look, a plastic chair. I think I'll sit over here. I don't.
Look at this ground. This ground has never fallen.
I have had furniture collapse underneath me when I was much smaller. I don't sit on anything that doesn't look like it is sturdy. Like at
Tree stumps are nice.
At the place last night. First time ever I've seen a danger sign on a water fountain. Yeah, the Harrisburg Comedy Zone, it's connected to a club, and the club's got a water fountain that is crazy deep, and it's got a very forceful flow that comes over the top of it, and there are fish that live inside. The most miserable fish on the planet, because it's like living in an earthquake zone all your life. Just anyway, I don't know why I went there. Do you have another headline for me?
Of course I have another headline.
Oh, let's see what we got.
Your electric car could run one day.
Crabs. Crabs from the ocean or crabs from the pubic?
I'll leave it open to interpretation. That's the whole point.
Hey, is that Shirley still living down the street? I need to fill up my tank. I need some fresh crabs. Your tank, they are doing everything they can right now to get away from the green car, the electric car. California is saying, yeah, we don't have enough energy for you to charge your car. And the places that charge to charge your car, as you, as a Tesla owner, have yet to experience because you're not in the States, do you go to Aldi to fill up? Do you fill up your Tesla at Aldi?
Normal.
Yeah, but then you have to pay the electricity. Or you could go to Aldi and plug it in and go shopping for 8 or 9 hours and get a free tank of gas.
Or I could pay €2 a day and plug it in at my house and wake up and it will be ready to go.
It's only costing you €2 a day.
It's the dip in off-peak hours. It's like 17
for
hour.
17 cents a kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
And how long does it take
I drive from here to the base.
Yes.
And then back.
Yes. So you don't have to top off. You don't really go long distance.
Oh, where am I going to go? I got to go to work. I go to work and I come home. I go to work and come home. Like,
oh, daggone it.
What do you think that I'm doing with my days?
So those people who travel longer distances are, they're finding out the hard way that an electric car is not the dream that they thought it was. Because a lot of people, for some reason, think that the electric car, that the electricity is like magic and free. People not realizing that their electric cars are fueled by nuclear power plants and by coal and by things that are not green. And then they have no idea that if you ever have to replace the battery on these electric cars, that it's crazy expensive. And my argument has always been that making an electric car does so much damage to the actual planet that's why I protest against them. I am an American gasoline using American. That's what I do. A gasoline engine, gasoline powered. What was the headline again about? Oh, yeah, crabs. So they're trying to get away from the power source that they actually have to... Could you imagine? I mean, in California, they're talking about you can't charge your car during these hours because of the power surges. And so, you make it a political statement by saying cars, but that's always been an issue with the power surge. And in England... Like during the World Cup, they would blow out the power grid because everybody would make tea at the beginning or the end or the middle or wherever it is. What's that?
All of Texas, constantly.
So
that's by running air conditioning.
Can you imagine how many crabs? First of all, I don't know. Don't potatoes have an electric charge in them? Don't potatoes make energy somehow? Can't you run a clock off a potato?
They carry a current. They'll carry a current.
Okay, so why are we making electric cars that work off potatoes instead of killing millions of sea roaches?
They're using an electrolyte found in crabs. It's crab Gatorade.
Do they?
Powered car.
I'm guessing the crabs don't survive the extraction of the crab Gatorade.
Didn't we just talk about the crab bourbon or whiskey?
We did not.
Oh, I didn't. That was a headline. I had pulled headlines for last week.
Crab bourbon.
Yeah.
I like crab. I don't like cleaning crab, so it's strange how much I like artificial crab. What about that? Could they power electric cars with artificial crab? That way poor crabs don't have to die? Something else dies. I don't know what artificial crab is made of. It's a sea creature that tastes like crab.
New Hampshire distillery turns invasive crabs into whiskey.
Invasive crabs. Man, that's like the most racist thing you can say in the animal world. They're invasive. They weren't naturally found in the New Hampshire area, and so they are boiling them down and adding like Old Bay and all kinds of seasonings. So yes,
that
to eat them. Like that sounds delicious.
Whiskey, low country boil whiskey. I don't know. It sounds disgusting to me because I'm not a big whiskey person. I do love crab, but I'm not a big whiskey person. I don't know that I need like crab flavored whiskey. I'm going to send you the link to that one because it's fun.
Whatever it's flavored, I'm interested. So I'm not a big whiskey fan, but if you put it in peach, I'll give it a try. If you make it taste like cinnamon, I'll check it out. Apple, okay, let's see what this tastes like. If you're going to give me a crab version, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. And it might be the most delicious thing ever. It might be the most delicious thing ever, right next to my bologna vinegar eggs. Well, we've missed a lot of
whiskey, and then you can just have yourself a dandy old snack time. I've got bologna eggs and crab whiskey. And what are we putting on his tombstone again? Bologna eggs and crab whiskey.
All right, here we go.
Fly back to the States, and I'm going to have to do a eulogy of. He was one of my nearest and dearest. The podcast killed him.
The podcast, yeah, it was, and then it goes through the roof, and we get 100 million hits, and all the bidet sponsorships you could ask for, and I don't get the fruits of my own labor because I was killed by bologna pickled eggs and crab whiskey. All right, you know what? We haven't done birthday boost in 2 weeks. We got some catching up to do, but we're going to try to keep it short because we're running long. It's time for a birthday boost. And if you don't know what birthday boosts are, here's what it is. You have a birthday. We like you. You're a friend or you're a fan of the show. What do? We put it all out there. We tell you all the wonderful, great things. Maybe they are or are not true. We don't know. But we give you a boost on your birthday. And if you don't meet those requirements, what we will also do for all of our other friends is we will give them a usually unretractable honorable mention. But in special cases, we will also do an honorable mention. ChickBrew, as always, you get to go first. Who's up for a birthday boost?
My bestest friend in the whole wide world.
Oh my goodness, is it my birthday?
6th grade. Oh, bestest girlfriend in the whole wide world. Melissa. I don't know. She's younger than me, but not now. Thank God. I hate that when you're like, friend is just like a few months younger and they're like old, but then they catch up. It's a good feeling. I'll never catch up to you. You're just too wise. But no, my best friend Melissa, we met in choir in 6th grade. We got in trouble for talking all the time. We still talk all the time. Nothing has changed. All I wanted was for her to come visit me for her birthday. Airline tickets are too expensive. Joke's on me. And so just next year, Melissa. We're doing it big. We're doing it big.
That sounds so ominous and threatening.
It is. It's going to be great. It's going to be just like in school when I would tease her relentlessly and somehow she still likes me. I don't know. Next year it's going to be big.
I'm giving my birthday boost this week for 2 reasons. Number one, because this guy spent 29 years in the Michigan State Police, but at a side hustle was being a comedian. He's a very funny man. He's been doing comedy for years and years. He's finally retired after being a law enforcement for many, many years. And of course, I support the blue. Dwayne Gill, one of the funniest retired Michigan State police officers I know. I wish him nothing but the best and the brightest. And I continue, as always, to live my life vicariously through you. Happy birthday and congratulations on your retirement. And that is my birthday boost number 1. Who's your number 2?
Ryan Davis. We worked together. He was my favorite road dog. I don't even know where he is for his birthday. I think he was in Alaska last week. He does, Rock and Roll Marathon, Ironman Marathon.
Oh, yeah.
Like, works for them. So wherever there's one of those races, he's always at, and he's really hard to track down. But he's the person that will wake up at 4 a.m. and help you load the van when everyone else is still sleeping.
That's my kind of guy.
Good guy. Love that guy.
Awesome. Moving on to my second birthday boost. I'm going to give this one out to Birmingham's own. Well, he doesn't live in Birmingham anymore. He is out there in no man's land, man. I remember when he bought this piece of property and he started a whole new life out there in Idaho or Wyoming. I don't remember exactly where Russ Nagel lives, but it's one of the big states, Montana. I don't know, but I have known Russ for over 20 years. He used to be the machine gun of comedy. Now he's America's Funniest Biker. Russ is a very, very funny guy and an inspiration. When he was headlining back in the 2000s, he would go out of his way to take his time to talk to other comics about what they could do to be better and how they could progress. And he has been killing it for 20 years in the comedy game. So I normally I've started to see myself doing birthday boost in pairs, whether it be 2 women, whether it be 2 comedians, whether it be 2 Spanish friends or 2 Americans. And this week it looks like I'm doing 2 comedians. Russ Nagel and Dwayne Gill are my birthday boost for this week. Who's on your honorable mention list?
I've got Brian McDonough, Suzy Boydson, Dave Howard, my cousin Franny, and Cary Martinez.
Kept it short.
Oh, Nichole Bratcher. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I actually met Nichole in the same choir class as I met Melissa. The 3 of us were like constantly in trouble. Just luckily we were all in the alto section and we were basically the alto section. So she couldn't move us. That is a win.
You're now right 3rd chair in the alto section of 4.
We carried the choir. She couldn't move us.
I got some great honorable mentions. Very first one that comes to mind is one of my former AFN family members from AFN Korea. That's Edwin Pierce. Brian Scott's having his birthday. Kenny Rugg, who's one of the most manly men I know. An amazing guy. Penny Harper, Paul Pizarski, Roxanne Hart, Alex Sandu, Tim Austin, Chupa Cabron. Man. One of the most melodious voices in the hash, Chupa Cabron, and Adam Buckfield. Those are my honorable mentions for the week. As always, folks, you can get a birthday boost if you participate in the show. And if you don't know how to participate in the show, well, at this point, it's too late to tell you. You should have already known by now. If you're listening, you know how to participate in the show. There's the hotline. There's the Facebook page. But ChickBrew, it is always good to spend this time with you, and it is always good to give our audience my usual reminder that I close every show with that I did not do in the 2 previous episodes with my guest co-host. So, as always, I like to remind you to be the best person that you can be, and if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow.
And don't forget that you are loved.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the way it goes.
Thank you for listening to T-Bone and ChickBrew. If you enjoyed that show, you should check out the Darrell McLean Show, independent media that won't reinforce tribalism. We have one planet and nobody's leaving, so let's reason together. You can find the Darrell McLean Show at the same place you actually listen to this show. Give it a shot.